Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Hey, it's not the Weekend Podcast. Very popular, I'm told, by the management. This is Frank Skinner for Absolute Radio, and I'm with Emily.
Hi,
And,
Frank.
And also... yeah, you guessed it. I'm also with Alan Cochrane. So we're in a small studio. A small judo, of course, is a place where they do judo.
Yes.
Oh, the coconut matting, it's everywhere. The coir. Smell of coir in here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Keeping
so...
people on board, the regular listeners.
Exactly. I'll tell you, I've been spending a lot of time on my own just lately, and everything's fine. Just worked out that way. And I was watching Countdown, right, a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you ever do this, but when the thing comes up, when they get all the letters together, and they say, like, you know, vowel, consonant, dawn, and then you got 30 seconds, it looks a bit like a word. You know, it looks like, roughly like one. So like, it looked a bit like occasion. It had a couple of S's and an N, the one I was looking at yesterday. So I, just messing about, I went, occasion. and then had them saying, well, no, there's no N in it, is there? And then me saying, oh, does it have to be exact? Completely destroy the whole theory. These are the things I do when I'm alone, ladies and gentlemen.
Format ruining. I like that you do
Format ruining. Yeah. It's a time-honoured art. So, I went visiting the sick this week.
Dear.
And a friend of mine...
How was David Williams?
I said the sick, not the creepy. I mentioned on the show last week, I think, that friends of mine were involved in a horse and cart accident in Romania.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you did.
And I got quite bashed up. So I went to see them this week, Carmen and Dan, my friends. And Carmen had broken a leg in the fall. And when I say in the fall, I don't mean like last September. I mean... And she was never in the... Anyway.
She was no Brixie.
No. And she said, oh, do you want to sign my plaster cast? And I felt immediately pressure. Because I don't know if this is something I've only felt since I've been a professional jester. But if you're asked to do something like that, you think, well, this is going to be shown to other people, Frank Skinner out there. They're going to say, oh, not very funny, is he? You know what I mean? I can hear...
Yeah.
distant voices echoing over the next few days of people thinking, I won't be watching his shows again, right? So I get the same thing with visitors' books in hotels, cards sometimes.
Leaving cards, birthday cards.
Oh, God, yeah. Sometimes, get this, people will write to me with a wedding card and say, would you put a funny message on it, to be read out by the best man?
No.
I mean, for God's sake, that's competition then. You might have 3 or 4 funny things, they know all the in-jokes, they know the background on these people, and then here's one from a professional comedian. Nothing. Anyway, with...
Where was the cost? Can I say, how funny did you have to be? Was it leg or arm?
It was very visible leg.
Oh, that's
a
lot of acreage.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, on this occasion, I wrote the cast of Carmen.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's an operatic joke.
Yes.
It's all right.
It's only all right.
I don't really get it. It's more my fault.
You don't get it?
I get Carmen, but I don't.
The cast of, as in the people in the opera. The cast of Carmen. Am I right, Frank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was feeling quite buoyant about it.
Well, can I just say, I think it's quite a fine joke. I'd be proud to have that.
Well, it's split the crowd down the middle, let's face it.
I mean, is she in the theatre?
No, but she doesn't have to be. Anyway, that's exactly my problem, you see.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the best. I thought that was one of my best.
It's high stakes, isn't it?
They're immortalised as well,
Yeah, it's like putting your hands in the cement of what's at the boulevard, wherever.
And also, I don't know about you, but I feel my comedy it's evolved. It's Darwinian, my comedy over the years, and I might have written, cheap, lewd stuff in visitors' books in the 1990s that I wouldn't want to put my name to now. But my name is to it put.
There is more pressure on you guys, though. Because I would, for example, if there was a leaving card and neither of you were right, if I see Frank writing in a joint card, I go to his first, because I think, oh, this will make me laugh, this will be funny.
Yeah. And
the bar's high. Often it does.
Not always.
Sometimes not so much so.
No, I know, that's
you can't,
it.
You know.
It's those days that break my heart. I will say that Dan and Carmen said that they were in a hospital in Romania, and it was a bit bleak, and Dan was in a ward, he couldn't speak Romanian, so he couldn't speak to anyone. They were both in terrible pain, and etc., etc. And he said, luckily, I had about 5 or 6 of your podcasts on my iPod, and that got us through it. So what about that?
Oh, I do love that.
What about that for a review?
It was probably pre-Cockerell, though, wasn't it? I can't take
pre-Cockerell and his terrible reviews.
I think they were pre-Cockerell, yeah, that's true.
Sorry about that.
Oh, well, you know. Can't have everything. I'm not saying they wouldn't have liked them.
My comedy's Darwinian as well.
Is it really?
There's been a certain amount of natural selection involved. Earlier on, when you said that you saw Bo Burnham and then had to sprint, I was thinking I've had a few gigs like that.
Earlier on? That was last Saturday.
That's right, yeah.
I like the way you're seeing this as the time continuum of the podcast.
I've seen a few entire audiences think I'm so good they have to sprint immediately after it.
Mine has been Darwinian in the sense of the survival of the filthiest in the early days.
Oh, very good, Frank.
But now I feel... Well, here's an example of my Darwinian humour, right? A man goes into the pub and the barman says... What do you think? Still developing the actual punchline. I feel the beginning of it is more evolved than the...
I'd like a catch-all joke for autographs. I very rarely get asked, but I feel exactly the same pressure.
Yeah. That's what I need, something I always use.
Yeah, just one really good gag, but I haven't come up with it yet.
For example, Save Hands, David Seaman.
Oh, yeah. Is that what he put?
Did he actually used to write them?
He always wrote Safe Hands, David Seaman.
I don't know, because just so you know, just FYI, Alan, my family banned us from asking for people for autographs.
Did they?
Yeah, so we weren't allowed, so I've never gotten any. But I didn't know that about him. I liked Safe Hands.
Yeah, Safe Hands is good. And I got one from... When I was doing... many years ago, I used to do a football programme on the television. And I got a letter from a bloke who worked for... some sports organisation, and he signed it, yours in sport.
Nice.
Yours in sport.
And I have used that, and people say, well, what do you mean? What does that say? Because my R's aren't very good. Spont. Yours in spont. Then I'm in, you know...
Spout.
Yeah. Yours in spout. Yours in spouts might be good. Then you're really theirs.
Sportingly yours. You could just adapt it.
Yeah, but I don't want to plagiarise my... And some people, you know, I have seen this one in autograph book where people will they'll sign on the inside cover, not on the first page, on the inside cover, and write, by hook or by crook, I'll be first in this book.
Oh, right.
Oh, Frank, I'd forgotten about that. That does go on.
Yeah.
I once got Lee Mack sign something for me.
Really?
Yes, and he said, "Dear Emily, thanks for hanging around the stage door and showing me your rack."
Was that when you were in the stage lighting business? Yeah.
And torture.
No, but it was meant to be nice, and then he tried to put me down so people would just think I was one of those girls.
Well, if we can get any suggestions in from the listeners, I'd like a set, you know, a template that I always use.
Yeah.
That's what I'm after. Castor Carmen, I thought was...
Castor Carmen's all right.
No, it's all right.
Oh.
I thought you were going to put something like, I haven't been plastered since ... but it's not as good. It's Castor Carmen.
But then if you put I on a plaster cast, I think it feels like it's referring to the person.
Yeah,
See, it's not just comedy, it's grammar.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Who knows? I signed a lot of autographs as Lurch the Redcoat when I was a Redcoat.
Did you really?
I was nicknamed Lurch, and so loads of the kids never knew my real name. They were just all thought of me as Lurch. And I ended up just putting Lurch and just drawing some really long legs with feet.
Brilliant.
It's really easy. But no funny message, just some big...
No, but I mean, you don't need a funny message if you Lurch the Redcoat.
Exactly.
Not with that.
It's all probably there. Podcasters now thinking, oh, it's him. they're adults
I
now.
briefly, when I was a child actress, Alan, I got asked my autograph a couple of times, normally on location when they ask anyone for autographs. And I must have been about 8 or 9 when I was signing these autographs. And my signature wasn't sufficiently matured.
No.
So I thought I'd develop an autograph style, and I turned the E for Emily into a pound sign. So it was pound Millie Dean.
You don't want that from a child star. You don't want to start with
It's
a
all
pound
about the
sign.
money. Yeah, that sounds like you're really cynically into acting already.
What I like about Lurch the Redcoat is there's a hint of pump up the volume about it. It sounds like something that a DJ would shout. Come on, Lurch the Redcoat!
Now, Frank, Alan was sharing something rather worrying with me, and it was related to a pair of celebrity jeans.
This is true. I last week tried on a pair of specific branded jeans. I don't know if we can reveal. I was trying them on, really thinking about buying these jeans, and they're quite pricey.
Yeah.
And
can you get non-specific branded jeans? You probably can,
just
can't you?
no
On the
names,
market.
on the market. But they weren't on the market.
No.
They were in a fashion wear shop in the northern quarter in Manchester. And I tried them on and was thinking I'm going to treat myself at some point to those jeans. And then whilst channel hopping the other day, I saw Andrew Marr in a pair on his Cities programme, whatever it is, and had a moment of going, is this my ambition now, to dress like an off-duty newsreader?
Oh, no.
What? And I'm not sure if I should let it put me off, because he doesn't seem like a badly turned out man. He seems like...
Were they similar jeans he was wearing?
They were the exact same jeans. They were...
They must have had a lot of detailing on them, these jeans.
Well, they're Edwin, and you can sort of see on the back pockets, you can tell what they are. And he walked past the camera in one of his not-in-a-suit moments, you know. And I thought, oh, he's wearing Edwin. Oh,
Smart casual.
I was going to get...
I should say he's a bit more than a newsreader, isn't he, Andrew Marr?
Journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Journalist slash philanderer.
Adulterer as well, yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, but, you know, no.
He called it, he admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did he use the word adulterer?
No, but I am.
No, exactly. I don't think he nailed it quite like that, did he? I mean, for goodness sake. I am an adult. I mean, what is it? Is he going to be sackclothed and ashed around London?
If I had my way, yes. But never mind that. What about these jeans?
Should I have let it put me off?
Well, let me tell you, Frank, I think certain men in jeans, it's a bit off-duty CEO. That's what you've got to be wary of.
Well, I have sort of... I haven't worn a pair of jeans now for about 3 months. I put them on one day and I looked in the mirror and I thought, midlife crisis chic, and I haven't gone back there.
Right. Are you at the chino stage? Corduroy?
No,
Corduroy.
No, not unless I go back into academia.
Right.
But I'm... Andrew Marr, I imagine, likes a Wrangler.
That's what I've heard. That's what he got in so much trouble for.
Because I think... I think he's a man who likes a single seam on the inner thigh. That's my guess.
Again. Isn't that part of his problem?
Yeah. He's, and what I like about it, again, in rapper style, I think a Mar Wrangler sounds a bit like a cleaned-up version of something a rapper might call someone. Yeah, and then this real Mar Wrangler. Hey, you Mar Wranglers out there. And it gives Andrew then a bit of a sort of an urban feel.
He's definitely grime.
But well, yeah, whatever he's wearing, it's working. Let's put it that way.
I've had a couple of moments with clothes recently. On the way home last week, I saw a man in a full, like, ankle-length Arab robe of a black, shiny, almost plasticky-looking appearance.
Really?
Oh, yes,
but
I
the
know.
robe was
nylon, darling, that is.
I'm not sure if it was. It was a very strange-looking fabric from across the road.
Waterproof
PVC?
Arab, you saw?
It was Manchester, so it could well have been...
Oh, there you go.
Could well have been a new line in waterproof Arab clothing. That's great, isn't it?
Very
There's a definite
sensible.
gap in the market there.
Exactly.
The next series of Dragon's Den, look out for it. This team will be pitching. But it stopped short at the ankle to reveal some very Western-looking novelty socks, which I thought was a nice touch.
Oh, what were the socks?
I couldn't tell from the other side of the road, but...
Cartoon character?
Either cartoon characters or a sort of a piano with stuff on that, you know, like that.
One of
sort
those with the keys.
Oh,
perhaps,
yeah.
Perhaps a Father's Day gift or something like that.
Maybe a Bart
lovely.
Simpson.
Maybe. Just it looked very clearly like Western novelty socks from the other side of the road. Great. Really nice blend of...
They were infidel socks.
maybe, yes.
Really?
Yeah. worn with a shorty waterproof Arab
Yes,
garb.
of course.
Well, he was firing on all cylinders, this guy.
And I don't know how strident his views were. He might not have thought of them as his infidel socks. He might have just thought of
No,
them
but
as
I'm
his-
going to market
his
them that
socks.
way.
His novelty socks, yeah. And also in Manchester, it sounds like Manchester's densely populated with eccentric dressers. I saw somebody the other day with a cagoule over their backpack.
That was Marquis Smith.
For a split second, I thought they had a very strange hunchback, and it was just...
Oh, what, with straps?
And well, I couldn't see the straps. It
Oh,
just
I
looked
see.
like a normal person because
I've done that, though. I've done that on walking holidays. If it's raining heavy, to protect your
It does look strange.
Your
though.
rucksack.
It does look strange.
You see, I'm so strict that I actually don't allow anoraks with suits.
I saw somebody wearing a suit with a body warmer over it last year.
I've seen that before.
no.
It's a terrible clash of smart and casual.
I find that slightly space age. I don't know. There's a thing, though, I think probably that Emily would call BPA, which I don't like, and that's backpack awareness.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you get people, they got a backpack and they forget it's there, and they'll walk past you on the bus or something. You think, you're crushing me.
Yes.
You're not, and they don't, because they don't have that.
Often Italian.
Is it that right? I've
Often
never
Italian, I have to
noticed
say.
that.
Racist. I'm sure it's
I've
not.
never noticed that.
It
It
is
makes me think, if you're a snail, is that what life is like? Are you an outsider in the mollusk world?
Maybe.
Are they mollusks?
Snails?
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, good.
Snails and stuff.
Well, you say very much so, not if they're outsiders, because pushing into people.
No,
all
I
the
know a
time.
lot about them because my sister was phobic about them, hence I used to collect them.
Oh, no.
Put them in her tights and things.
I'll tell you what I've noticed a lot just lately, which, fashions that you sort of read about in magazines and on telly, and then you see them, but there's some the other way around. You see someone, you think, oh, that's a bit weird, and then you see someone else, and you think, oh, hold on, this is a fashion, this wasn't a one-off. Wellingtons.
Yes.
But I don't mean the big, I mean like narrow fitting. I saw quite a trendy Japanese girl. She got Wellingtons, and often they're the trendsetters.
Were they the ankle boot Wellingtons?
No.
Oh.
But they were small and a Dellington.
A deli welly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a Dellington. And then I saw a man who'd got a sort of a slightly ponky, but a modern ponky. He looked like he could be a fashion designer or maybe an artist. He'd got Wellingtons on. So where did that come from?
Yeah, it happened very suddenly.
It did.
Vivienne Westwood was partly responsible. She produced they're sort of ankle wellies with little bow motifs. But yeah, they are fashionable. Well done, Frank, for spotting that.
Well, I'm wondering if I could maybe push the toe tector into high fashion.
The toe tector.
Do you know toe tectors?
Please explain.
They're those industrial shoes with the metal toe cap.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
And they take, when you've worn them a bit, there's a sort of separation takes place, and you can see very clearly that the toe cap is sort of going out on its own, as it were. And they would be good. This is true. I am often slightly ahead of the game with the fashions. No, really. I said to my girlfriend ages ago, you should get a fringe. I think girls are good. If you've got nice eyes, it really brings it out. She says, no one has a fringe anymore. That's pathetic. Suddenly, everybody's got a fringe.
They're all over the shop.
Yeah.
Dogtooth check I was talking about before. Dogtooth check suddenly had that big burst. At the moment, it's the Russian space race. I've become obsessed with all things cosmonautical. You see if that doesn't kick off and become...
Well, this time next year the Cold War might be back. Who knows?
Well, let's hope so. We've certainly, if it happens, we've got enough shop names.
You're what's called a cool hunter.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're employed in the industry to spot new trends. They're paid a lot of money.
That's like a wine taster, man.
So what you do, you will see them wandering around places like Soho or Hoxton, more likely, and they're looking out for future trends.
Like those noses that work in the perfume industry.
Exactly.
Now people call noses and that sort
Cool
of...
hunters.
Well, I'm not cool, but I feel
No,
what
I
I
know.
do. No, exactly. I feel like I walk down a dark, long corridor of uncoolness, and every now and again there's a fissure in the wall, and I peek through it, and then I see the next trend, and then I continue in the darkness. But yeah, maybe I should start tipping people off. Anyway, the next look for me is cosmonaut. I've decided on that.
So, Frank, I feel the need to share with you and Alan. I've had a bit of an incident.
What, after all these years?
How dare you? I'm proper of
It
it.
doesn't seem proper.
Frank, I've had a bit of an incident with a male friend.
Oh.
Not that sort of incident.
Go
I
on.
didn't dip my toe in what you refer to as love lane.
Oh, God.
There was no love lane.
Uh,
It was more what Hugh Grant calls a shouty screamy on a film set, apparently. We had... Well, it wasn't really an argument. Let me explain it to you and see what you think.
okay.
So he works in the same building as me. He's a really old friend of mine. Scouse. Lovely. And I was doing my rounds. I sometimes do my rounds in my heels to go and see people I know. I did my rounds, went to see him. I know he'd actually emailed me and said, "Oh, where are you? It'd be lovely to see you. Haven't seen you for ages." So I popped into his office. I could see he was a bit... There was obviously... He was busy and a bit agitated, so I left in a few minutes. Then I
I'm
knocked
getting anxious.
on his
Can I say
glass
I'm getting
door.
anxious?
Knocked on his glass door, opened the door. He said, "Not now," and shooed me away. Shooed with a hand gesture.
Oh, with the sort of back of the hand pushed towards you, that.
Yes.
And it can be done with wrist or fingers, can't it?
Yes.
It can be a...
I come from way back on the wrist. Mine's sweeping. I don't like a staccato shoe. I like a sweeping shoe. Go on, no. If it's staccato, I think that's...
His was a staccato shoe, and that's what I objected
That's
to.
borderline
Yeah.
hostile, that. Go, get up. Whereas, no,
Yeah.
in a second, I love you. I love you.
Exactly.
Come back. Now, if he's... I like to... when people ask me how to shoe without offence, I always say, think of it starting at the elbow.
Yeah.
And then it gives it a lovely... It got a good
I
line.
like that, like a tennis follow-through.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
curling. Would it be curling? What's the one on ice? Hurling. What's the one?
No, it
You
is
can't
curling.
just keep saying
It is
words that
curling.
rhyme.
A nice sort of elegant sweep, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's what you want.
No, his was a
Oh,
little
dear.
mean-spirited...
Like a yappy
staccato.
dog.
Yes.
So you left.
Yeah. His bloodied corpse was carried out of the building some hours later.
Oh,
now
dear.
his office is clean.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to him
No.
since?
No.
Really?
No.
You've not made.
I think he has to... if you've been the shoer, you are the one who's got to... You've got to make the gesture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Frank?
Yep.
Well, I mean, he was... I mean, he might not even know he's done wrong.
He does now.
Okay.
He listens to this.
Does he?
That's partly why I'm doing it.
You've got to be
Well.
careful with hand
across the
gestures.
ocean.
I don't know about you, but if ever a car stops for me at a zebra crossing, I always feel some sort of obligation to, acknowledge that they've stopped. 'Cause I know they should stop legally, but often they don't. And sometimes I'll denigrate myself and do a thumbs up. I always feel filthy afterwards. I just think a thumbs up. Who am I trying to kid? I hate that. And one of the main reasons is I used to think, what if I just smile at them? Look at the driver and smile. But I found, I don't know, something to do with the context of being allowed to cross the road is in a way not that generous a thing. I would look at them and my smile, it wouldn't be warm, it would be sort of poignant. If you smile at someone who maybe used to be a great sportsman and then lost a limb, and they were, you're watching them struggling into a room and you smile like that, smiling at, oh, we both know this is a tragedy.
Or
So
like Shane Warne post-makeover. That's how I'd smile at him now. I've carefully said makeover, don't worry, it's
Yes.
fine, just in case.
That's yeah. So I smile at them in a oh dear, one of those kind of never mind smiles, and then they look at So I went for the thumbs up, but I don't like that. I once when I used to do a chat show many years ago on the television. I think it was the Zootons. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Zootons doing Valerie.
Oh, yeah.
Were on there, and I think what they did is they did it twice, and then I think in the edit they put the first half and the second half together, like one might with a used car. Mm-hmm. And they needed a little edit. They need to cut away from, obviously, to something as an edit point. So they cut to me sitting in semi-shade watching them. By God, if I wasn't clicking my fingers. I mean, it was a modern band.
Fine.
Valerie.
Why don't you come on over?
I mean, if you're not in the Rat Pack, you're not allowed to click your fingers. It's just not acceptable.
If you're not in the Rat Pack and you're not.
No, I'm not in the Rat Pack. Let's face it. No, so that was a terrible. I tell you, my mum used to. This is not a hand gesture, but if she saw anyone in the street, she knew. She'd go, "Ooh."
My mum does that.
Yeah.
Why did they do it? Someone must have done it in an old Judy Garland film or something. My mum always goes, ooh.
Maybe they
What is
thought
it?
whistling people was vulgar or something like that. You know,
Yeah, I don't know if women whistled in those days,
No.
because obviously the old adage, a whistling woman and a crowing hen is neither good to beast nor man. I'm worried about the last section of that crow. It sounds like it goes into death rattle.
That's it.
The last bit, I think. Well, that is the
Frank,
last crow.
Don't play it 3 times, because then what will happen?
Oh, that's true. Here we go. I'm not happy with the ending.
Doesn't sound happy at that last.
Yeah, I can imagine the cockerel looking across and saying,
Yeah.
"Jeff, can I do that again? I just lost it on the ending." No, it's
Yeah.
fine. No, I'd like to. Let's do it again. Then we got a choice both ways.
On the subject of outdated hand gestures, I think both the gesture and the phrase "sticking twos up" is going. You don't hear people sticking twos up. You know?
No, I've never heard that phrase.
Really?
What's that? Is that the
do
opposite of the Churchill sign?
Yeah,
basically?
yeah, it's the rude
Sticking
version.
twos up. It's been replaced, hasn't it, by flipping the bird?
There's
I
a solitary
suspect,
digit now.
but- Yeah.
It's a pity that's globalisation at its worst.
It is.
Because that's the American influence that's done that. And it's a shame, because although the V sign that you're discussing is crude in the extreme, at least it's British.
Well, that's true. I've noticed as well a lot of saluting going on. Simon Cowell and Cheryl have popularised the salute.
Yes.
Well,
I've heard it's bad luck.
Is it really?
Well, it didn't to Cheryl Cole any good. I've heard it can lead to malaria and unemployment if wrongly employed. No, I figured the first time I saw them doing that is that there was the floor manager maybe had just the one magpie on his shoulder. Hadn't warned them, and obviously they both went into a slight superstitious panic. I'm thinking I might get some sort of pet bird. I'm thinking parrot.
Oh no!
I'll tell you for why. I've been having physiotherapy on my shoulder. I've got a sort of a dropped shoulder, they call it.
Okay.
And it's kind of, it looks as if I'm about to turn left.
I'm not unaware of it, Frank.
You've noticed
I know.
it?
You've mentioned it to me before,
Yeah.
but I'm aware of it.
When I put a T-shirt on, the first 2 letters of the slogan are often obscured by folds, because the shoulder isn't.
Try being BFM.
Yeah.
That's Britain's fattest man, Alan.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
But I mean, his logos are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go on.
I know what you mean. But so I'm always turning like that. My shoulders. I mean, if I went with my shoulder, if I gave it free rein, I would just walk in a very small circle.
Like a wonky
It's
wheel
quite a
on the
good
shopping
dance. You'd be
trolley.
good doing the Michael Jackson Thriller dance, though. They do a lot of that.
But
With the
no.
sh-
So I thought. Apparently now I've worked on the muscles, but it's actually bearing in mind to hold it in position until it gets on my hard drive. I thought if I had a parrot on that shoulder,
Yes.
You would pop it up.
Well,
Well, of course.
it would necessarily
Right,
be
yeah,
erect.
contact.
I don't want it to teeter. So, when I saw the wings going, I could realise it was about to topple. Then the shoulder would go back. That's what I need, something like that. Maybe if you could get a spirit level incorporated into an epaulette.
Yes, that's a great idea.
I'm just wondering if there's some kind of complicated tattoo that you could do that would work that out.
It's just remembering is the thing.
Yeah. You need a visual aid, don't you? The parrot would be ideal because it's both bright and it can vocalise.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoulder up.
Maybe a ball bearing on a brooch.
Or
A
you,
Newton's cradle in the armpit. I need something
you
anyway.
could have it perched on a Gaddafi throw if you had that over your shoulder.
That's true. Well, if I had the Gaddafi throw that, no one would care whether the shoulder was turned. I look like I'm all just about to do a dummy on a right back
Oh, nice.
and take him on the outside, as it were. Anyway, any advice, as ever, from our listeners? I mean, I've had the physiotherapy, for God's sake. I went to an exhibition this week.
Oh, how lovely.
Now, I don't know about you, but I love a reliquary.
How dare you?
Yes, I do. You know what a reliquary is? Relics. I was trying to explain this to my personal assistant. I said I'm going to an exhibition of reliquaries, and she says, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, you know that the Catholic in the Catholic Church we worship the bones of saints." And she said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I've never heard that," and looked a bit taken aback. And I thought, well, I know it's a bit weird, but you'd think. Anyway, it turns out she thought I'd said the bones of Satan. Which would be quite a revelation. Oh, by the way, in the Catholic Church, we worship the bones of Satan. It's two massive whammies. One, that we're diabolists, and secondly, that Satan is dead.
Right.
I mean, to drop that on someone, simultaneously is too much. Anyway, what it is that they like the bits of saints. So I went to this exhibition at the British Museum. Brilliant. I would absolutely recommend it. It includes things like a brooch with a piece of the skull of Thomas Becket.
Oh, I love that.
And a thorn.
Is it Thomas A. Becket? Do you call him Thomas Becket and you know about these things?
He used to be A. Becket, and then
like sort of Linda LaPlante. He dropped that.
Exactly.
So it was a bit 70s.
Yeah, Danny LaRue.
Was this an equity thing?
Yeah, maybe it was maybe there's another Thomas A. Becket, so we had to be Thomas Becket.
I like Thomas A. Becket much better.
Danny LaRue. Whose full name, of course, was Danny LaRue de Chocolat. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
Anyway, they also add, in a small reliquary, which is obviously the name of the thing that holds them, ornate, a thorn from the crown of thorns.
No.
Well, that's what I thought. It's a bit... I mean, how did they acquire that originally? Did someone go up to one of the centurions and say, "You're not going to throw that away, are you?" I mean, they're not going to hand it over, right? Health and safety, surely.
I don't think they were that concerned with health and safety back then.
What, at the crucifixions?
No, we can't give you this thorn, you may prick yourself on it. There's a lot of legislation. It's like when they shot Murray Mound the other day in case people slipped down it. I don't know if the health and safety brigade had kicked in back then, had they?
Well, I hope those nails were dipped in disinfectant.
Yeah.
Now wash your hands.
But it just made me think that I would, if I could have any piece of any relic, I don't mean religious necessarily, but from now or from history, what would it be? And I thought long and hard about this, and what I've come up with is Carlos the Jackal's sunglasses.
Yes, I love those, Frank.
Now, as far as I know, I mean, there are other pictures, but there's one iconic picture
Yes.
of Carlos the Jackal, leather jacket, a bit of sellotape on the collar. I've never worked that out. And shirt, slightly one collar in, one collar out. And these weird shaped shades. They're not aviators. I don't know what they are.
They're a bit reactor like Rapide, Ryan O'Neill,
Oh, maybe.
70s rom-com. But I know exactly the shades you
But
mean.
so iconic, and I would love... And if I wouldn't just keep them in a case, I'd wear them as well.
Have they been reissued? Are we aware of have they been reissued? I suppose it's a niche market, isn't it?
Well, Frank's the cool hunter, as we've established.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
will
I'm
be
wearing...
now.
I've got me... Put me Ray-Ban Jackals on. And, well, I tell you what, I think I might attract them down.
What?
Yeah. Because I was, for a period, I was obsessed with this picture of Carlos the Jackal, and so I had a very good sense of what the sunglasses looked like. And I saw a picture of Neil Fox at Party in the Park, and he had some glasses on which were, if not, I mean, they look very similar to me. And it's not out of the question, is it, that Neil Fox would pay big money for Carlos the Jackal's shades?
Have you sent him an email gathering this information?
No, I'm just... I imagine he's a tetchy individual.
Who? Neil Fox?
Neil Fox,
Yeah. Well, the Jackal's not easy.
No, but to be honest...
He's no picnic.
Maybe it's the glasses.
If I had to go on a two-man drive to Edinburgh tonight, I'd choose the Jackal.
Would you go Jackal over Fox?
Yeah.
Better stories, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. I mean,
Better music, probably, as well.
I'd rather have an assassination yarn than somebody talking about when they met Top Loader. I also thought I wouldn't mind that big bin that Mary Bale put the cat in.
The wheelie bin.
Yeah, then you could use it. I thought you could use it as a cat bank for anyone locally who didn't want their
Can
cat
I just
anymore.
say, I'm so impressed by your recall of her name.
Oh, Mary Bale. Yeah, I don't know why. It's something to do with bailing out.
Yeah.
But, you could have a cat bank and people could put their unwanted cats in and then they could be redistributed to people who want cats.
Oh, you mean while they're alive?
Yeah,
Oh,
while
I
they're...
thought you meant cats that had passed on, shuffled off this mortal coil.
Oh, no, I think...
When
I think they have to be left in the road from what I've seen, with a slightly, strangely grinning open mouth.
When our cat died, I say ours, it was my youngest brother's, and we'd all moved, and my mum got ill, and then it had to be put down. And my mum told both my other brothers, who were quite upset. I think they even shed a tear. And I went, "How much was that then?" And I think it was about 48 quid.
What?
What, to put the cat down?
Yeah, about 48 quid to get a cat.
Carlos the Jackal would have been cheaper.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it did. As soon as you said a cat bank, I was thinking you'd be saving a lot of people 48 quid there. If the cat was due to shuffle off, you could
Yes.
have a cat bank. The vets would go mad.
Did you not have a shovel?
Well, I was going to try not to make these jokes about offering my mum that I could have killed a cat for free, which I did, but I wasn't going to make them on the
But the
podcast.
fact is, if you killed a cat quickly and humanely, I mean...
There's rules. Surely there's rules.
You say it with a note of regret in your voice.
Yeah, I think you've got to take your shoes off before you do it in the house. If you do it in the house, definitely.
No, there are definitely rules. The animal cruelty people will go bananas just about the mere mention of this. I'm certain of it.
Okay. Well, anyway, that is...
Okay, it's with a tinge of disappointment.
That's this week's email, then. Is it all right to kill your own pets? I mean legally, I don't mean morally. I mean, that's too big a debate. I mean, is it all right if it's done... What are you looking at me like that for? Don't know, the producer making all sorts of... Cut throat. What, you cut their throat would be all right? What do you mean, cut their throat? Oh, I see. You mean... Oh, okay.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.